Hey, hi everybody. Shh. Hi everybody. It's Woke with Kids. Namaste, peace and blessings. I am Yaze and I am with
Melissa.
Yeah, we're here. And it's a beautiful night to be podcasting. It's about 11 p.m. The kids are not asleep yet.
They're asleep.
Oh, they are asleep?
Yeah, there was a crying fit when I came back. I don't know what happened while I was at the store buying wine.
Oh, goodness.
But it was very eventful.
Well, yeah, it's always there.
So I think they, cried themselves out a little bit.
Okay.
I know.
So the babies are asleep. Fair enough. Wonderful. So now it's time for the parents to talk about what the parents talk about. We got a lot to talk about. It's been a lot happening. Honey, what has been on your mind this week?
Well, I'd like to start off and say happy birthday to James Baldwin. He would have been 94 years old today.
Excellent. That's great.
Great writer, essayist, civil rights activist.
Right on.
The beautiful James Baldwin.
We love James Baldwin. Yeah. Were I to have a kid, if I had a daughter, I would name her Baldwin. That's how I get down in this household because I'm artsy fartsy like that. That's a good one. Do you want to start with a story? You want me to just dive right in?
You can dive in.
Okay. Well, I thought that it was, God, there's so much. But let's start locally. All right. Locally right now, we're having one of the most incredibly destructive fires that we've ever had.
Another one?
The Carr Fire in Northern California. It's been
ongoing. I didn't even hear about that.
It's been ongoing for a while. It's already torched 121,000 acres, an area larger than Denver, Colorado.
It's the seventh most destructive fire.
It is the seventh most destructive fire in state history.
Oh my God, it melted boats on Whiskeytown Lake.
It's bad.
Fire tornadoes.
Tornadoes. People are seeing fire tornadoes and pyrocumulus clouds. Do you know what that means?
Oh my God.
That means clouds of fire.
That are now fiery.
That means clouds of burning flame.
That's intense.
That's like Armageddon type stuff, really. So the reason that this is of note is because there are wildfires sweeping all over the country. It's not just California, although California is really prone to this type of nonsense. And I say nonsense because most of these fires, unfortunately, are caused by human beings. We know that statistically.
This one was as well.
So there's that.
What was it?
I don't know. I'm not even sure. But it was a perfect storm because it's hot, it's dry, it's windy, and, we don't get a lot of rain out here. So it's like the perfect environment to basically create hell on earth.
Damn. People are dying.
Oh, it says officials report that a mechanical failure of a vehicle was the cause of the fire.
Damn. That's
crazy. I mean, that's too much power for just one species, I think. Goodness gracious. And we want nuclear bombs. We have nuclear bombs, and we can barely keep our cars from setting the entire wilderness on fire. So, another big part of that is sort of a macro level is climate change. The reason that we're experiencing one of the hottest summers on record ever, all across the world, Europe, India. You got stories every day about elderly people and children dying of heat.
Yeah, they're the most at risk.
Yeah. That's what's happening now. That's the future, the Pandora's box that's been opened on us in terms of the point of no return. And yet I still see Trump is ordering the EPA to roll back Obama-era regulations and standards for fuel efficiency. So Trump be Trump on that, of course.
Of course.
Also, speaking of Trump be Trumping, just get rolling. Trump thinks that Sessions should end the probe.
Of course he does.
Call off the witch hunt.
I was reading that House Republicans had introduced some sort of impeachment of not Rosenstein, some other guy. Some
no, I think it was just,
was it?
Yep, Rosenstein, yep.
Because he kind of took too long to
hand over
submit
some
papers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing the things
thing.
amazing the things that need to be subpoenaed by the Republicans. But I mean, hey, November is coming, so we'll talk then. But yeah, Trump sent an agitated tweet, according to Vox, calling for Jeff Sessions to end the Mueller investigation.
I mean, did he actually send like anything directly to the person?
Well, here's the thing: he can't actually do that because Jeff Sessions is recused from the Russia investigation. So,
oh right, he's still mad about that.
He's really mad about that. But there's not a ton that he can do about it except fume. But
that's where Twitter comes in.
Yes, exactly. But it does beg the question again if Trump's tweets can be treated as evidence of obstruction of justice.
I really don't see why not.
I really don't see why not either. And I think it's really telling the timing of this particular Trump tantrum because his homie Paul Manafort is on his second day of his trial, his big boy trial, his really real trial, where he can actually might probably go to jail for the rest of his life, because his boy Rick Gates, his partner in crime, has already flipped, turned snitch for the prosecution. He's testifying against his old boss, and a lot of people were waiting for this case to come to trial because they thought that the reason Manafort, out of all the lackeys, hadn't flipped because maybe he had some get out of jail free card. Maybe he was going to cut a deal at the last minute. Maybe he thought Trump was going to pardon him at the last minute. But it turns out, according to court records that are publicly available, that his defense really is Rick Gates did it. My lackey did it.
The guy under me.
The guy under me did it. He's the bad guy.
I tell what to do.
The guy I'm the boss of. So, case closed. Problem
that's
solved.
that. Glad that's over.
Yeah. Witch hunt. Knew it. I knew it. A little more Trump be trumping. You guys know who Charles Koch is, honey? Do you know who the Koch brothers are?
Mm-hmm.
For you listeners who may not be as politically and read the papers all the time, the Koch brothers are not a Mexican drug cartel. They are, in fact, a pair of billionaire brothers who have traditionally donated money to Republicans, and they fancy themselves libertarians? ? Millennial up inflection. I guess. And but here's the thing. They like free trade, and they don't like the tariffs that Trump is putting up there.
No one likes the tariffs.
No one likes the tariffs. No one likes the tariffs.
Farmers are like, what the fuck do we vote for? And he's trying to appease them by throwing out essentially welfare. Billions of dollars. Was it 12 billion?
12 billion.
You're going to pass out to the farmers, basically say, hold on, it's going to work out for you, and here's some money in the meantime.
What's funny about that is the only reason he can do that unilaterally is because he's taking the money from a program that was originated in the Great Depression. I mean, if irony was something that they got, they would be choking on irony, but they don't get irony, so that's why it's not happening. Anyways, so now the Koch brothers are not so happy with Trump because they are businessmen and they want to make money. So they have sort of declared war on the Republican Party, or those Republicans who support Trump blindly, in particular with his trade policies. So they're actually looking at Democrats to support this year.
Odd.
It's very strange bedfellows. My voice is it's just basically permanently pitched up because I don't know how to feel about this. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, I suppose, but I've grown so used to the Koch brothers being the bad guys that it's hard for me introducing some nuance. But here we are. What interesting times. What interesting times. Billionaires versus billionaires. This is what we're doing now.
We'll see how that plays out.
Can't wait.
I mean, are they pumping money into the Democratic Party yet to help flip some of these states?
Well, not all
these congressional seats.
Not all the Democrats. Mostly just the sort of conservative Democrats who are pro-trade and that kind of thing. You know, like
well,
so. Not.
I'm sure there are some. So
yeah, there are. In fact, actually, one of the other stories that's kind of out there floating around. I didn't do a lot of looking into it, but the new scuttlebutt is that Mueller. How do you pronounce his name again? Mueller.
I don't know.
Mueller. Is that Mueller is also in the goings on of his investigation. He's coming up with evidence about a lot of other lawmakers who are participating in this culture of foreign lobbying, of being undeclared agents of foreign powers and all this shit. And it's not just on the Republican side; it's on the Democratic side too. So some people are starting to say that, irregardless of whether this gets Trump, the hell out of there, although, God make it so. This may be actually the backdoor drain to draining the swamp, to actually getting in there and digging into the corruption of. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, baby. Oh, yes, of course.
I'm coming.
It's not a Woke with Kids episode unless we have some child
I'm coming
interruption. Yes, it's the baby. We love the baby. You can't what? Yeah, you can't sleep. You want to hang out with us and finish up? Okay, so. Anyway, so that's the scuttlebutt there. Hi, buddy. So the other thing that was kind of interesting to me that really caught my attention, and I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this, but there's this new movement out called QAnon. Have you heard of this? It's a new conspiracy theory that's gripping the nation, kids. Everyone's jumping on board. You should really find out about it and get involved, No. So you might have been watching some of Trump's rallies, which, of course, as one does. Not me, not my cup of tea. But if you like to subject yourself to that sort of visual stimuli, then hey, float your boat. In this particular instance, some people noticed that there were people holding banners that said "We are Q," and obviously people are really curious about what that is. So I'm here to tell you what is QAnon. Are you ready? Okay, guys. Apparently, there is a mysterious figure, an anonymous figure, okay? A heroic, solitary figure named Q. All right? And Q began posting on anonymous internet message boards in 2017, and nobody knows who he is, but he claims to possess top-level security clearance, okay? And evidence of a worldwide criminal conspiracy. All right? Are you ready? Are you hooked? I am hooked. I love a good conspiracy. Oh my God. It explains so much. Everyone just understands where their place is and why they're not getting ahead in the world and what's holding back. So let me tell you what is going on, okay? Here's what's really going on, all right? Special Counsel Robert Mueller. I really cannot... isn't actually investigating Trump in his 2016 campaign, okay? He's not really looking into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election at all. Rather, Mueller was appointed by Trump to investigate Hillary Clinton, Barack, and other Democrats like the former Clinton campaign chairman, John Podesta. You dig? Are you following? Okay. So he leaves little posts, and they're called breadcrumbs, and his followers pick them up and they decipher them, and they call themselves bakers. These guys that are on the message boards, and they figure it out. All right. So what are these foes of Trump being investigated for? All right. It's that the Clintons and the Obamas are actually in cahoots with Vladimir Putin.
To do what?
To overthrow democracy, girl. You know what I'm saying?
That's what Ellison.
To overthrow democracy. So, anyway, the big thing is that the big gotcha is so Trump is basically this Machiavellian figure who is in control of everything, and secretly all of these people are being monitored, tagged, scrutinized, analyzed, and like any moment now, a big dox is going to happen, a big reveal is going to happen, a big oh my god is going to happen. It's going to make everything clear, like how this witch hunt has all been. How the Russia investigation has all been a witch hunt, how Trump has never been in collusion, how Obama was actually a secret Muslim. It's all going to be revealed by Q. And the only question really is Q in Trump's administration, or is Q Trump himself?
Ooh.
Boom, y'all. Boom. I'm telling y'all. QAnon. Okay, so that's the new conspiracy, guys, and they're showing up at Trump's rallies. They're wearing their gear. It's lovely. So now you know what the conspiracy is. Yeah. What do you want to talk about anything? You want me to just keep on ripping?
Oh well, did you hear? I guess Trump met with some more black people.
Hey. He does that.
Leaders, and one guy says, Daryl Scott.
And I'm saying this at this table, the most pro-black president that we've had in our lifetime, because, and I try to, analyze the people that I encounter. This president actually wants to prove something to our community, our faith-based community and our ethnic community. The last president didn't feel like he had to. He felt like he didn't have to prove. He got a pass. This president this administration is probably going to be more proactive regarding urban revitalization and prison reform than any president in your lifetime. If we work together, give them a chance. Don't pay any attention to these guys back here. And I promise you, we will do something.
Promise you.
We will. This administration will continue to make history. It's going to be a lot of positive change. Great things are on the horizon. I promise.
So apparently Trump is going to be the most impactful president he's the most pro-black president that we have had in our lifetimes.
Yeah,
shut that coon up. Daryl Scott.
Wow.
And
wow. Whoa.
It's just shocking that he could somehow piece that together, but of course Trump loved it.
Of course.
And feels very vindicated.
Of course. I mean, I don't even know how to parse that entirely. The idea that Trump is good for black people. I mean,
Trump is going to be the one to spearhead prison reform. I mean, that's just
by releasing one black grandmother.
Because if nothing but evidenced by this fiasco with immigration and deportation and the detention of the children, it's all to make money for basically detention centers, which is another form of the prison industrial complex. So the two don't add up.
1,000%.
You can't make money holding people in these prisons or detention centers, whatever you want to call it, and simultaneously be the one to revolutionize and spearhead prison reform.
Bingo. 1,000%, man. Well, that's your boy. That's your boy Trump. He's amazing. I'm not tired of winning yet. I can't wait to win some more. What else can we talk about that is interesting?
I don't know if it's not Trump related.
Yeah, we can get out of Trump.
Okay,
No, we can get out of Trump.
A while ago, Roseanne Barr was back in the news.
Oh, I love
her. A couple
her.
things had happened. There was this clip. I don't know if y'all caught this.
You said I'm in 3 outfits.
Well, here's the problem. Like, imagine...
Are you filming?
Yeah. Yes. Imagine a presidential address, like you're busted with killing a hooker, like whatever, right?
What?
Just hear me out. They say tonight the president's going to give his address, and then the camera fades out, and it's fucking the president on his desk in the Oval Office, and he's like, I did not have sex with that hooker, right? Imagine in his state, keep and save his job. There were jump cuts, multiple outfits, different...
I'm trying to talk about Iran. I'm trying to talk about Valerie Jarrett wrote the Iran deal.
I know, but you've told me this 300 times. Do you know that
That's what my tweet was about.
I know. You've explained this literally 300 times.
I thought the bitch was white. God damn it! I thought the bitch was white.
Okay, so Roseanne decided to double down on the tweet that essentially got her show canceled and got her fired from ABC. Her excuse for that racist tweet about Valerie Jarrett was that, and I quote, if for some reason you couldn't understand that raving, ranting lunatic sound I just played, she says, I thought the bitch was white. Mm-hmm. That's why that tweet was okay. Because she didn't realize Valerie Jarrett was a black woman. So by calling her a monkey or whatever it was, would be construed as racist. Oh my God.
I get it now.
I
get it now.
Confused.
My bad.
Oh my God, Roseanne.
I get it.
My bad.
You're so witty. You're so witty and smart.
What kind of also threw me was that Monique, our favorite comedian.
Oh, goodness.
That's always trying to stay relevant.
Okay.
Said that she stands by her sister in comedy, Roseanne Barr, after this tweet. She says...
Oh, really?
In comedy. And she's my universal sister. And what I won't do, Sam, is throw her away for making a mistake. We've all said and done things, baby, that we wish we could take back and swallow and say, oh, but when you're in the public eye, you can't. And it's out there. But to put the title of racist on her, I can only share my experience with Roseanne. Roseanne Barr is my sister.
So I thought that was crazy talk because it's not like we dug up some old tweets of Roseanne's from years ago that said, before you were back in the public eye, you were saying some racist shit and we're going to use that to take you down. She tweeted that while the show was current. And the excuse that she thought the bitch was white doesn't really make you not a racist. And then why in the hell would Monique come out and stand for her?
I
like what?
I mean, look,
So we're not throwing her away because she said something recently that betrayed her true feelings about black people?
Yeah, I don't know what she wants to salvage from Roseanne. I mean,
like Roseanne ain't giving you no money.
It's like before
she's not putting you on.
She voted for Trump before she called her an ape. I mean,
she has all the tweets and the things that let us know how she really feels about Trump, about Obama, about people of color gaining more equal rights in this country. And so I don't understand. I mean, I guess I just don't get Monique at all already based on her whole issue with Netflix and how she chooses to confront the challenges that she's facing in her professional career. So, I mean, I guess this is kind of part and parcel for the whole thing because again, this makes no logical sense.
Yeah.
For anyone.
Yeah.
Unless Roseanne and her have some deal being worked on where Monique will somehow get paid. By staying in Roseanne's good graces.
I was just gonna say,
and if you got that in the works, then why would you call for everyone to try and boycott Netflix? Like, why would you try to take on Netflix if you got Roseanne on your side? I'm confused. I don't understand, Monique. Like, what is going on? Because somebody,
I mean, like, is Monique gonna come out and be like suddenly like be like I'm a right winger? Like I'm what her name in Silk, Diamond in Silk. I'm like on some Diamond in Silk
Monique,
shit.
Is she gonna come out and say that?
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, this is it's a very strange thing to ally yourself with. It wasn't like people were talking about how funny Roseanne was or how like a lion or a champion of liberalism.
Have they done something together? I mean, are they coming out with a special together? I don't get it. I think
this is one of those Kanye things. I think it's one of those Kanye things where they're identifying
talking to Trump.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Trump is the most pro-black president in his lifetime. This motherfucker's like 60 years old. Really?
And also, really dope, but really even more so than him being the most pro-black, because every black preacher has ever said that about every white candidate has ever been president before in the history of presidents. But what's really interesting is how everyone who wants to be around Trump has to shade Obama. How they have to say something about well, the president who wasn't here didn't give a fuck about black people because he thought he was entitled to it. They're always reversing the thing that they're guilty of. You know, like if Trump has never worked a day in his life, well, then you're the entitled one. You're the one who's out of touch with the masses and who doesn't understand the people. Like if Trump's a narcissist, then anybody that comes against him is only thinking about themselves and only out for themselves and doesn't love America because Trump is America and we should want us to win. You know what I mean? Like, it's like he throws whatever he's guilty of back at you. He's the ultimate projector. It's really kind of fascinating. But with these black people in particular, I'm like, my thing is like, who are their constituents? This man has to have a church. Right? He has to go stand in front of a church full of people, I'm assuming, and say things, and they know he's the guy that stands for Trump. And I'm like, they're good with this? There's a whole congregation of black people? Does he preach at a multiracial church? I think
it's the same thing, almost like the farmers. Like, it's this whole idea of just hold on now, don't listen to the news. It's crazy talk. It's fake news. And if you just hold on, then your time is coming. Black people, farmers, poor people, your time is coming. All you gotta do is let these white people take the money right now, and it'll work out for you later. AKA, we'll throw you something. But
speaking
when has that ever actually happened? The money never trickles down.
Speaking of the money, they're talking about Trump was weighing the possibility of doing a unilateral $100 million tax cut for the super rich.
Another one.
I mean,
the deficit is already about to hit $1 trillion.
Yeah, I know, right? And we're winning our asses off because that's really what you got to do is you got to spend money to make money. That's already the deal. It's so bad now that $100 billion. I said $100 million. $100 billion tax cut for the rich that he wants to enact out Congress. And you think that he cares about people?
See, that's crazy though.
And you think he cares about people?
It's a Republican-owned Congress, so I don't understand why, if what he's saying is so great, why he wouldn't be able to just propose it as a piece of legislation. Like they normally do. Right. Isn't everyone on your side? Aren't they all supporting you?
Well, that's part of the larger conversation of whether we are sliding towards a benevolent dictatorship.
Well, he would like to think of himself as benevolent, and he would certainly love to be called a crown dictator. That's obvious.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. I got to bring this up. I know it's my favorite subject and yours. So a little something is coming. Santa's putting a little something in everybody's Christmas tree this year. I know you've been waiting for it. Everybody's been bated breath waiting for it. Yes, finally, your prayers have been answered. 3D gun blueprints are finally coming on the internet. There's just been one tiny little snag. It's a fucking terrible idea, and a judge found out about it, and he put a kibosh on that shit, and thank God. What the fuck is this? Why okay, look, you want to have a gun? I'm done having that fight.
Guns, and there's an industry, and
they got serial numbers on it, and that's at least something, right?
Now they're saying we just gonna put the blueprint out there, so anyone with a 3D printer can just print whatever the fuck they want.
An untraceable, undetectable, non-serial number having gun. I mean, something that you can't even detect with a metal detector.
That's so outrageous. I mean, why would anyone even consider that?
Why would the NRA even want something like that?
Wouldn't that affect gun sales, like actual gun sales?
Exactly. Anyways, I don't want to belabor the point.
Am I crazy? None of this is really making sense.
That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I don't even understand why the person... Well, I'm sorry, he's a crypto anarchist, so that explains everything. There's a crypto anarchist guy who wants to put these blueprints on the internet, apparently, so that we can all have guns and initiate the purge. Why is everybody's master plan the fucking purge? Jesus, guys, get some better ideas, man.
That's why I never wanted to see that movie. It was just too close. It was too close to reality of what I perceive. That's what I think, Ellison. Yeah. I just felt like it was. Did you just fart on me? Yes, you did.
Absolutely,
so
did.
Stinky.
Absolutely did.
Oh my God, I can't even talk right now. It's just too close to what I think people would be easily convinced was a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
the purge is like okay, if I kill somebody, anybody gonna kill me? I'm down.
We're so close to it, man.
It's a free for all where I can just start shit where I want to. I'm in. Why not? These people's lives don't mean anything, anyways. We might as well give them some meaning. We'll give them some meaning. Please don't do that.
Let's talk about something that is a little bit broader. It's not a story per se, like a headline, but it's something that came from Vox, and I really dug it. It's just in case you guys were forgetting. The reason that things are so bad in our politics right now is because America is browning. It's browning. You dig what I'm saying? Like it's it's been in the fryer long enough. It's starting to brown on the edges. It's kind of nice. It's going to be some delicious ass fried chicken. Okay, but unfortunately, there are some people who want to keep unseasoned boiled chicken. And that's the only kind of chicken they think that America should be with. So it's just something to keep in mind that within the next 25 years or so, people are estimating, the smart people are estimating, that this country will be predominantly Black, Hispanic, Asian, and mixed race populations. I mean, can you just imagine? And now, what some psychologists and what some demographic people who study that smarter than I am are saying that this is actually the root cause of this sort of backlash against Obama and the perception of this browning, and why they turn so virulently, and decisively toward Trump, because whether he admits it or not, he represents all of the ideals and all of the things that they want to imagine in this dwindling white Christian nation, which to that I say, go see Black Klansmen, okay? Because it's important to remember that this idea is as old as American sin, and it's not new whatsoever. Whenever you start to put Christian and white and nationalism in the same bucket, it always equals KKK. Let's just be very clear about that. And yeah, I think that's just an important note. Oh, also, I thought it was very interesting that, if you didn't note, the Supreme Court decided that you can't deny someone the right to open carry. It's protected by the Second Amendment. So Afghanistan, here we come, where people just walking around with rifles and weapons in broad daylight all the time, and it's just everyone feeling comfortable with that. So, but I can bet you who's not going to be able to have those guns and have that weapons. We don't ever seem to be talking about minorities in relationship to this whole gun control thing, because they are not the NRA and these people or whatever. They are not coming out and talking about the disproportionate use of guns against Black people when it comes to police brutality, and they're not coming out defending the right of Black people to stand their ground when they feel threatened. Shout out to, I can't remember her name, but when she stood her ground, she got sent to prison. So it's just really telling that all of these so-called rights and privileges that are so-called for everyone are really being led the charge by people who seem to want to concentrate them only amongst white Christians.
I mean, that was one of the big things that came up when Philando Castile was murdered, was that he was a licensed gun owner and in a state where it was allowed, and he told the officer that he had a firearm on him and wanted to show him his legal permit, and that is when he was shot in front of his child and his girlfriend. And the NRA never spoke about that at all. That's right. And I will say, here in California, there are stricter gun rules, specifically because the Black Panthers, it was founded here in Oakland, were open carrying their guns. And Ronald Reagan at the time was like, oh, hell no. So that shit looks scary. We're not having that. So time and time again, throughout the years, it has been proven by the actions that open carry is for white men.
Bam. That's what I'm saying right there. Okay. Have you heard about the 18-year-old white boy that joined the Crips? Heard about that one, honey?
No.
Yeah. Apparently, the Crips are for everyone. They're like the Boy Scouts now. Everyone can join, and you can learn valuable life lessons.
You want to sit on the stool?
Like how to survive being jumped in.
Okay.
how to clean your stolen gun, how to skirt.
That's his face?
That's his face. That is who it actually is. Of course, he didn't look like that. Oh, you singing to us? Thank you, baby. Of course, that is not what he looked like. That's not what he looked like when he was actually doing his thing, but I can't find that picture now, apparently. Anyway, so this clean-cut white boy apparently joined the Crips and then was a getaway driver. Actually, let's see if there's any sound to this thing. Oh, it's all talk.
Acquitted of first-degree murder for driving the getaway car after the murder of Justin Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
He was known as White Boy.
Or Milk. That's a good one. Anyway.
Claims he had no idea there would be a shooting. That has never happened in the history of the legal system where the getaway driver is acquitted.
Yeah, so...
Unless he's a rich white boy.
And everyone else is still in jail. Let's be clear. Everyone else is in jail. So, shout out to the complexion for the protection. Jeez Louise. Wow, man. White boys are taking everything, man. I mean, I'm just offended. I mean, at the very least, if you're going to be a criminal.
Join a gang that is knowingly engages in criminal activity. Okay, I can't even go down.
Yeah, like I mean,
I think I'm having way too many logical questions for what are clearly just illogical.
Yeah, you tell him, Ellison. Ellison, is this a song you're singing or?
I think he's singing. He sees the microphone, he sees the video.
Okay.
And he's trying to put on a show.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
What are you singing?
Yeah. Hi. You want to see? I know you want to see yourself.
He wants to see. Yeah, he wants to see himself on the live video.
Now we know who the ham in the family is. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Let's talk about something a little lighter, folks. This is going to be a rather short one because it's super late tonight. Let's talk about Beyonce or Kim Kardashian. Which one do you talk about first?
I guess Beyonce.
Let's talk about Beyonce. Beyonce recently took over Vogue. She is the guest editor-in-chief of Vogue, and she did something that was unprecedented in Vogue's 126-year history. That is the entire history of the magazine. She is insisting that the cover be shot by, for the first time, a black person. Can you believe that? 126 years. Yes, a young black photographer. Let me see if I can. What is his name? He deserves some shine. Let's see here. It's Tyler Mitchell, 23-year-old Tyler Mitchell. What an incredible opportunity for this young man. I mean, this must punch his ticket for like the foreseeable future. He's going to have a place in history, but I still find it incredible to think that in 125 years that Vogue never been guilted or pressured in 125 years, or it felt a twinge of like Gordon Parks. Like Gordon Parks, you went all the way through Gordon Parks' lifetime, and no one ever asked him once to shoot a Vogue cover or anything like that. It's just very.
We barely even have black people on the cover.
Truth.
That's a relatively new thing in the last 10 years.
Well, it's just somewhat. It's just, it's like I'm glad it's happening. I guess I should be, yay! But it's still remarkable the number of number ones that are still out there. But also another reminder of the pure Afro divinity of our Lady and Savior Beyonce. Bro, you got to stop. You can't touch the mic though. Yeah, you can't touch the mic. You can. I can't stop you from singing, but please don't touch the mic, my friend. Okay. All right. Next up, Kim Kardashian. You heard about this?
No.
Okay. So, this is super important stuff, guys, okay? This is like the very edge of wokeness, all right? Kim Kardashian was seen out and about in some, form-fitting pants, because, that's what she does. And Tyler Beckford Tyson. Thank you. Tyson Beckford. Shh. Quiet for a second. And Tyson Beckford commented on it, said, you know what, I'm paraphrasing, said, I like natural girls. It looks like she's had a lot of surgery and basically looks like the surgeon might have fucked her up on the right side. This is what she said. Looked like her hips were uneven or something. Now, in all fairness, it was probably just the angle of the photo that was taken. It probably had nothing to do with her actual body. But, and I find slightly uncharacteristic fashion, Kim clapped back at Tyson and said, basically, sis, we all know why you don't find this attractive. Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
I've never heard that Tyson Beckford
I've never heard.
I mean, not that I remotely have tried to find out or keep up with his.
I've never heard a rumor,
but I've never heard that in like the
25
years that he's been in entertainment as the huge male fashion model and anything that came after that.
Never.
So she was asserting that he was not attracted to her because he's gay.
That's right. And
hence the cis.
And thankfully,
I mean, she's more in fashion than me, so maybe she's been at parties, but that's
either way, it's homophobic as fuck, because even if he is gay, what does that have to do with the observation? I mean, first of all, he's putting it out there that I like women who look like this. So he is identifying himself as a hetero person. All right, we live in 2018. So her to come back and be like, no, in fact, actually, sis, you're this. That is, if she was right, if she actually had some information, that would be involuntary outing.
Right. Why would
at the
she
minimum,
out him?
At the minimum. And at the worst, libel, just straight libel. But it's not even real libel because there's nothing wrong with being gay. You could be gay and you can have an opinion about somebody's body.
My hip is not fucked up.
Okay, so this is the good part. So then Twitter, Black Twitter, of course. I don't know why I say Black Twitter. When I say Twitter, you guys know who I'm talking about. So Twitter clapped back basically and took Tyson's side and was like, see, what she can't stand, I'm paraphrasing all of the collectiveness, was basically, no, what she really can't stand is that a black man, an attractive black man, does not find her surgically augmented body attractive. Because that means she wasted. That means she
but I mean, she's married to one of the most famous black men, so why does she need anyone else?
But can you imagine what it must be like? Because he's already said he's had liposuction. So I mean, like, it's just a house.
Hey, stop that.
So it already shows like what the value structure is in that household. Can you? I mean, I can't even imagine what that must be like. The Ouroboros
of news that
body
Kylie
negativity
Jenner's
of that
lips were back to regular size.
I noticed
because of since she's breastfeeding, she can't go in for the fillers. She just had that baby. She had a baby, so she can't go in for her fillers.
That shit is crazy.
And all of a sudden, her lips are,
that's crazy.
But they still don't look as thin as they did when she was like 14. But they look half the size of the lips that basically led her to become almost the youngest billionaire and sold the whole makeup line, essentially, was this filler. I mean, what I think about it though, that is, don't touch the mic, baby.
Yeah,
it is kind of a brilliant payoff. Talk about your ROI. However much the fillers cost was not 900 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got the fillers, and even if she has to re-up every 6 months, it will never equal the profit that she has made from the lip kit that she sells, that we all saw her applying on Instagram. I'll say this. I mean, Kris Jenner is a marketing manager genius, because I've never seen her I've never so consistently turned nothing into something that makes money. I mean, she had her son selling socks, and you know what I mean? She turned the porn tape into something. You know, I mean, she just knows how to leverage any fucking thing.
Yes.
And not just leverage it, turn it out, make it turn a profit. She said, "Bitch, get these fillers."
Yeah, she's kind of like she's kind of
a pretty face. So let's just put something in these lips, and then you can sell this makeup.
She's kind of like
lip makeup.
A benevolent madam or something. Like she's.
But she keeps it all in the family. It's not even. She's not even really mad. It's just her own children. I mean, she got a lot of them.
I guess so. I guess so. But she allows a lot of shenanigans with the type of like. I mean, she had Tiger. She had her 17-year-old daughter dating like a rapper. You know what I'm saying? We forget about that. Like Tiger was dating
Tiger.
Sorry, Tiger.
I was like, what? Tiger what?
Sorry, I'm not hip. I'm not with the shits.
But then she had a baby with the other one, Travis. I mean, it's the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's all crazy.
True.
And then the other one had a baby.
It's true.
With the dude, and then he's really, you know what I mean? And then she was married to the other black dude, and then he's.
Yeah. Well, that's not even the worst. Actually, you know what?
I mean,
I was actually about to let it go with that, but that's actually not even the worst thing that Kim has done this week. Besides calling her sister the least interesting one to look at.
Wait, what?
She called Kourtney Kardashian. Is that the oldest one?
Yes.
Yeah. She called her the least interesting one to look at because she wouldn't make herself available for a photo shoot. Apparently,
she said that.
She said that. She said that out loud.
Oh my God.
So her mother made her apologize. But the point is that it's some crazy shit. But that's not even the worst thing. That's still just gossip shit. The worst thing is that she came out and refused to criticize Trump. Yeah. Everyone is suddenly more like everyone that Trump does a favor for apparently gets touched by something. Like Roseanne gets corrupted, and now I feel like Kardashian is finally making the final villain turn, where she reveals like all along she's been like a right winger or something, and Kanye actually isn't
Hey, publicity has no political affiliation.
Hey, look. Let's cut this one short.
We got to. I was gonna talk about some other things.
Well, you know, we can do another short one maybe this weekend and just catch up on some things.
Only gonna get louder.
Yeah, he is clearly wants his own podcast. He's deliberately trying to
any possible noise he can make with his mouth.
Yes,
he's making it.
Look at
that face.
He is like, I cannot wait. This? What does that even mean, man? The trill.
You're trilling,
bruh?
Wave to everybody.
Hey, say hi, world. Hi, world. It's up there with the light is.
See where on top of it?
Anyway, you don't believe it. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
God, this has never happened before.
This is a firster.
Totally had to cut it short.
The next one's got to be really special because it's the 100th.
Getting louder and louder.
He is really trying to be in the conversation.
Let me talk. That's what he says.
This basically.
He starts crying. He'll be like, I want to talk.
Okay. Anyways, guys, you can find us in all the normal places you find the podcast. I mean, you're listening to the podcast, for crying out loud. Please leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, on Spotify, wherever you hear us, wherever we're out there out and about.
Awake at midnight.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. We're on Twitter as well at Woke with Kids. We're on Instagram.
And next episode will be our 100th.
It'll be our 100th episode. We're trying.
I'm gonna make it long as.
Yes, I'll try to get some good guests. We'll try to get some good guests. Oh my God. Okay, we love you guys. That is it.
Please comment, post.
You are singing. All right.
Any other episode, check us out. Continue to support us. We love you. Thank you for listening.
Good night.
Peace.
Stay woke.